from Rokblokz. Today in the shop we have this GR86. We've got a new mud flap and splash guard kit for it, so let's go ahead and show you how to install them. Here we have the tools laid out that you'll need for install. You'll need an insert puller or flathead to remove the factory inserts. You'll need a level to check the bottom edge of the mud flap, the splash guard not so much. And then you'll need a Phillips head and a 4mm Allen. We'll be using one or both of these drivers as well. Here we have the front laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your mud flap or splash guard for that corner, and then the hardware. We'll go ahead and put a breakdown of that hardware on the screen right now. You'll notice that there is a slight difference in profile between the splash guard and the mud flap. The mud flap has the vents blocked off right here that are located in the fender, and the splash guard includes those vents to be opened for a more sleek and sporty style. Now let's head to the vehicle and begin installing. Here we are at the front of the vehicle. We're going to begin by removing the factory inserts. There are 3 located along the fender's edge, right here, and right here. We're going to remove those and peel the liner back. If you'd like that to be easier, you can remove the 4th up here, but just remember to reinstall it when you get the liner back in place. So we're going to begin. We're just going to take these out and set those to the side. Now we're going to take our inserts and our 1 nylon clip, and it's going to go insert, clip, insert, and the inserts are going to go behind the liner, like so, and then the metal clip is going to slide behind the plastic skirt onto the metal flange behind it. So you'll slide that in between and align the center of the clip with the center of the hole right there. Now we're just going to return that liner to its original position, and we can begin mounting the flap. To begin mounting our flap, we're going to grab the flap. We're going to grab one of our 1 1/4" screws with 1 1/4" washer, and we're going to get that started into the bottom insert. Next, we're going to take our longer screw with 1 1/4" washer and a 5mm spacer. We're going to put that 5mm spacer on the back side of the mud flap in between that and the liner. And then we're going to put the screw through the liner, going into that clip that we just placed inside. And for the top hole, we're going to take an 1 1/4" screw with an 1 1/4" washer, place our spacer on the back side of the mud flap, and screw into that upper insert. We're going to get those snug down, but just enough that we can still move our flap in and out. Now we're going to take our level, check along the bottom edge. This will only work on the mud flap, as the splash guards have a more rounded, sporty profile. Alright, now that we've got that level and in place and we've checked it and make sure it looks good, we're now going to go ahead and fully tighten all 3 screws down. Now that we have all 3 of those tightened down, we suggest doing your final tightening by hand. Make sure that you don't over tighten any of them, just get them nice and snug. And with all 3 of those screws tight, that completes the front install. You can repeat these same steps on the other side. Now let's go ahead and hop to the rear. Here we have the rear laid out. What you'll get in your kit is your rear flap or splash guard for that corner. You'll get your rear mount plate, and then you also get the hardware. We'll go ahead and put a breakdown of that hardware on the screen right now. Now, let's head to the vehicle and begin installing. Here we are at the rear of the vehicle. We're going to begin by removing one of the factory inserts. That insert is located just right here. You'll take your insert puller or your flathead, pop it loose, and we're going to go ahead and remove that. Once that's removed, now we're ready to set up and mount our mount plate, which will then set us up for mounting the mud flap. To begin mounting the mount plate, we're going to take our large insert. We're going to press that into that factory hole right here. Our large inserts can sometimes be a little oversized, And if you have any issue, you can just take a razor blade and kind of shave off a little bit from both of the sides. That will help it go in nice and easy, like we just did. Next, we're going to grab our mount plate. We're going to grab our 1 3/4 screw, a couple of our 1 1/4 washers, and our 10mm spacer. To do this, we're going to grab the mount plate, make sure we have the right side. The etching is going to face towards the tire. We're going to take our screw, place it through a washer, place it through the slotted hole on the mount plate, place our second washer on the back side, place our 10mm spacer on the back side, and now we're going to take this, and along the bottom edge of the fender liner there is a molded line that the bottom of this will align with. We're just going to take that and we're going to tuck it behind the plastic edge of the bumper, aligning our screw with the insert that we have in here. We're going to go ahead and get that started. And get that almost tight, but just enough that we can move our mount plate around. We're going to make sure that it's pushed all the way over, and you can confirm just by checking along this molded line to make sure that the mount plate matches along that or close to that. Once that is in place, we can now go ahead and lock down our screw here. We'll get that nice and secure. Next, we're going to grab our flap, and then we're also going to grab a 16mm button head screw with a washer. We're going to start on the bottom hole right here. We're going to align that with the T-nut that is in our mount plate. We're just going to go ahead and get that started by hand. With that started, we can go ahead and grab our next button head screw. We're going to lift our flap, aligning the second hole with the second T-nut in that. We're also going to get that one started by hand as well. And for the top hole, we're just going to repeat that same process, taking our M6 button head, screwing into the T-nut on the mount plate. With all our screws in place, we're going to take our 4mm Allen key for the button heads, and we're going to snug those down just lightly. Just enough that when we go to adjust our flap, it'll hold its position. Next, we're going to grab our level, and we're going to check along the bottom of the mud flap. And just remember that this is for the mud flaps only. The splash guards have a rounded, more sportier profile. And those, you can just mostly eyeball. The holes will align and do most of the work, but you can set them just a little bit to make sure that they have that perfect touch to them. So now we're just going to take our level and check along here and get these adjusted to right where we want them. Looks like that's good. So now we'll take our 4mm Allen key and fully tighten all three of these mount plates down. With those fully tightened down, that completes the rear install. You can repeat these same steps on the other side. Thanks for watching.